Hello everyone. Today I'm doing a video where I took the Big Four, the actual Big Four, and my alternate universe Big Four. I listened to the most current album by each band. Um, Except for Overkill, I did not use the album that just came out yesterday. So I did use The Grinding Wheel. Everyone knows who the Big Four are: Slayer, Anthrax, Megadeth, Metallica. My alternate universe Big Four would be Forbidden, Overkill, Voivod, and Flotsam and Jetsam. So I took the newest albums by each of them and listened to every song that wasn't a silly, like, instrumental, like, interlude thing. So only songs that were full on songs. So um, there are a couple songs on the last Forbidden album, which came out in 2010, so 9 years old, um, to, this album that had nothing but tracks on it, and they had 12 songs. 12 songs, and this is 2019. So what I did is rated each song on a scale of 1 to 10, giving them points 1 to 10, and then I took all those points, added them up, divided it by how many songs, and that was the average. And on the average numbers, those are the bands that got this numbered system. I will say that Anthrax had more points than Voivod, but Voivod actually had 8 songs and Anthrax had 11 songs, so Voivod beat them out. So here are some of my I'll just go 1 through 10, 1 being or 1 through 8, 1 being the best album of the 8, and that was Flotsam and Jetsam. They came in with 81 points, 12 songs, averaging 6.75 points altogether per song. The drums sound great. I also made some notes on some things. The drums sound great. The bass is up front, and the vocals are awesome. They have smart lyrics too. The bass sound is also really nice in the mix. Not overpowering, but not buried. And the solos are melodic and not too long. That was just for the first song, and I made other. Song 2 is perfect example of how Lars drums should sound. Good and catchy, but not quite perfect. Track 4 was only okay. I need metal show today. It's a silly line. So heavy, though. Oh, yeah, he sings, I need a metal show today, and that's one of the only criticisms of this whole album. Track 12, which is the closer, is an amazing closer. It makes me want to listen to the album again. Usually, a song, if you get to the last track and you're like, oh good, I'm glad that album's done, you probably aren't gonna get me to listen to it again. But the very final track on here makes me want to listen all over again. And he has this line that says, common sense can fix our society, I just can't do it tonight. So number 1 was Flotsam and Jetsam, The End of Chaos. And I am not surprised that this beat everything else out. I am surprised about number 4 on my list, because it actually beat out one of my alternate things. Number 2 is Overkill. They had 11 songs, 68 points, so 6.18 points was the average. And some notes on this album were lyrics are silly but okay, drum sounds good, always like the upfront bass. Yeah, Overkill are notorious for having really loud bass because they are a bass-driven band. Well, they're not really, but the leader is the bass player. Any other notes that I have here? Song 5, solo at the beginning is cool thing to do, a little too long. But, you know, at least it's not Metallica long. Track 6, silly lyrics but very Motorhead. That's Let's All Go to Hades, or Hades. Track 7, I said, you took the high road, I took the psychopath. That's a line in the album on that song. I really like that line a lot. Yeah. Song 11 is a cover of a Thin Lizzy song. That actually only got 4 points because I'm not a big fan of covers, but I did give them a little higher than I would normally a cover song on a new metal album because it is a Thin Lizzy song. So, Overkill, number 3. Voivod got the number 3 point. They have 8 songs on this album. They had 48 points altogether, which ended up being 6 points per average. There's an awesome mix on this album. The vocal harmonies and melodies on the first song are awesome. The drum sounds great. Bass is cool and guitars are too. Solo is so awesome. It sounds like an Alan Holdsworth solo. There's smart lyrics and a cool ending. The very first song. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys what. So, I believe the first song on this album got a 10. The first song on this album got a 10, and the first song on this album got a 7. I believe. Let's see if anything else got a 10. I'll tell you. There's another Flotsam and Jetsam song that got a 9. An Overkill song that got a 9, and another Flotsam and Jetsam song that got a 9. So those were the highest scores out of all of them. Some other notes on this Voivod was the end kind of ruins it on the second song. It is a little end kind of ruins it a little, but the rest is good. I like the chaos or the chorus, but it's kind of disjointed and long for no reason on track 5. Love the guitar at the beginning of track 6. That is that song got an 8. The guitar solo sounds like Alan Holdsworth on track 7. And track 8, the very final song, is adventurous, but it's a little too long, and it's no Jack Luminous. Sorry if this video is kind of long. Slayer. So Slayer is the one of the big 4 that actually made it into the top 4 out of all these 8 CDs. They have 11 songs, 59 points, averaging 5.36, and I didn't expect them. The drums are kind of muddy, but not in your face. The vocals are decent, and solo is good. First song on here got a 5. Some other notes: the initial drum sound reaction has changed It's good and natural sounding. I just had to get used to the drum sound on this album. Um, the bass drums are a little bit buried in the mix, which is actually quite refreshing once you get used to it. Um, but then again, on by track 5, I say, what is with the muddy drums? I like them, but I don't know if they're for Slayer. So, track 8 on this album, which is track no song. What song is that? I think it's song 6, where they slow it down. I stupidly didn't write any of the song titles. I just went song 1 through 5 or 12 or whatever. I wrote, I love slow Slayer. Imagining an all Slayer Doom album would be awesome. Let's see. One of the later songs, it said short and sweet. And I think that was song 9. 9, yeah. But yeah, Slayer came in number 4, which was very surprising. Number 5 in here is Anthrax. Here, let me take it out of this. I hate this weird packaging because it's also just kind of crooked and stuff, and it's a pain in the ass to get in there. So, Anthrax, For All Kings, I think it's called. Yeah, For All Kings. I actually bought this album specifically for this whole thing. It was a pleasant surprise, and I really do like it. It came in number 5. Had more points than Voivod, but it also had more songs, so that brought the average down. It had 54 points total, 11 songs, 4.91 was the average. And I wrote the intro, which is an actual other track on this, is kind of boring. The vocal melodies are great. Drums are good, not too in your face. The solos are good, and I like the mellow part on song 1. I really like the first song, not weird instrumental interlude and thing. Other notes were good but not great on song 3, technically. It's good but a bit long on song 4. Okay, but kind of out of place on song 5. I wish I would have written down some of the song titles so I could tell you what song I'm talking about. Sorry. Track 6 was an interlude, so I didn't count that. So track 7 actually had a 9 rating, and I wrote love the chorus. Track 8, it says it seems like it's trying to be like imitation of the life. Again, kind of like have the feel of imitation of life from Among the Living. And then I don't think I have any more notes on Anthrax. I wrote, I like the chorus, but the verses are only okay on one of the later songs. The album kind of falters at the end, so that kind of lost at some points. I believe the only bands that got 1s points for songs were Megadeth and Metallica, because there's some really bad missteps on both of those. Number 6 was Forbidden. In retrospect, this is not that great of an album. Not that great. It has 10 songs, 12 technically, but 2 of them are instrumental weird things, so I didn't count those. 10 songs, 43 points, with a 4.3 average. The drums are up front. The vocals sound kind of processed throughout, and a lot of their solos are pretty good, but nothing that really stands out. Let's see. I know track 5, I just wrote just kind of boring. Track 6 was just a filler track. So track 8 would be, said the chorus is like old days, good and very melodic vocals. The next track was music is good, vocals are only okay. There's next song said cool bridge, the scream at the end and vocals weren't samey. Sometimes Russ gets kind of samey on here. He doesn't really stretch as much as I would like. And the very last song, I just wrote, meh, not the greatest. No, second to the last song. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed with this album overall. This is the album that, well, guess what? By the time I got done with this, I still had a couple things to do. I still needed to listen to 3 songs on Overkill and Slayer and Flotsam and Jetsam, and I had finished with Megadeth, and this album sucks. I really don't like Dystopia. It had 11 songs. None of them were instrumentals as far as I know. Yeah, they had 11 songs, 54 points. Remember, Flotsam and Jetsam got 81 points. I already sold this album because I knew I would never listen to it again. 3.73 average. The first song I wrote, vocals in the verse sound weak, the chorus is good, and the solos are good. Track 2, I said vocals are blah, and the drumming is also. Bass is great. At solo part, kind of reminded me of Black Friday, but honestly, if you're going to want to listen to Black Friday, you might as well just listen to Black Friday. Track 4, I wrote boring. Track 5, it's okay, but the lyrics are meh. Track 6, I wrote nothing. 7, I wrote nothing. But that, I think, track 7, I think, got the most points. It got 7 points so far. Yeah. Track 8, it has an okay intro, but it's just an instrumental. I counted it because it's a full song. The ones that I didn't count were like weird little interludes and stuff like that. Track 9 I thought was okay, but overall, and then the 11th song was a cover song. I can't even remember what song it is. I gave it a 1 point. 1 point. So I sold it. I was like, screw it. I'm selling it. I don't care. Actually, I traded it in. Last in line. You're the last in line. That makes me want to go into We're Off to the Witch. Metallica, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. This album does have some cool riffs, and if I listen to it in a way different headspace, not comparing it to all these other albums, I think I might like some of it, but it's a long album, absolutely needlessly long. This album got 29 points total. It has 12 songs, and that means 2.42 points on average out of 10. I'm going to actually go through this one. Metallica, song 1. 2, I hate how you can only make out the heavy bass drum hits. His drums are never clean and audible. like he should have triggers on his bass drum so each hit is exactly the same. The lyrics are kind of stupid. He does that where the left bass drum is kind of filling like kind of thing, but all you can hear is like the 1 and the 4 or whatever, or 1 2 3 4. Track 2, drums are kind of boring. It's too long. Sorry, I forgot to turn down the audio on my phone. So the first song got a 2. The second song got a 4. The third song got a 2. It said frat rock of thrash. Too long for absolutely no reason. That's what Metallica does these days. They are too long for no reason. Number 4 actually got a 7. Drums are actually good on this album, on this track. Track 5 got a 1. It's so boring, and you pronounce Cthulhu incorrectly. Who the fuck is Cthulhu? Song 6, 3. I gave higher points for the vocals in the verse being actually melodic. They don't know when to stop, though. They just don't know when to stop. Every song on this album is way too long, except for maybe no, that's even except for song 4. Apparently was awesome. Song 7 got 2 points. Song 8 got 2 points. I hate Lars' drum part. Just play a straight beat, you idiot. Song 9 gets 1 point. How can a band play so long and play... Wait. How can a band play a song that long and say nothing and go nowhere with it? So I got a 1. Song 10 also got a 1. Song 11 got a 2. And song 12 got a 2. That is just a horrendous thing. But the funny thing is, I actually don't want to sell this. Megadeth, I was so bored with. I don't know how it got so many points. Megadeth had 3.73 on average, and this got 2.4. They were off by 1 song or whatever. But yeah, so this is technically, whoa, with all these CDs, these are technically my 4 thrash bands, the big 4 in my mind. Technically, I think Anthrax would, with numbers, normally beat out Voivod. But if I took the best song by all of these bands, I don't know why I'm even messing with that. If I took the best albums by all of these bands, I have a feeling I would rate my big 4, Forbidden, Overkill, Voivod, and Flotsam and Jetsam over the actual big 4. So hopefully this was fun for you. Hopefully it didn't go too long. And I don't know why I apologize for long videos. You guys can always turn them off anyway. So that was a lot of work for finding out that information. It was fun, though. It was fun. We had fun. We had fun. That's my CC DeVille impersonation. All right. Goodbye.